Hello, my friends. We're going to Romans chapter 10, verse 9. This is 5 Minutes of Faith. Here we are in Romans chapter 10, verse 9 and 10. I'm going to try my hand at what we call apologetics, which is simply to explain and to define and to give some meaning to the Gospels. Why is Jesus the way to heaven? What makes him unique and special? And what is it about the gospel that saves us? And so we're going to Romans chapter 10, verse 9, and it says that if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. Now listen, that is the essence of the gospel right there. And that seems to me to be just a little bit too simple. Because righteousness is the ability to stand in the presence of God as if having never sinned. Not at all. Never. Not even a thought of sin or a word of sin. To have a right standing, to be in right standing with God. That's what righteousness is. And it tells me here that righteousness is believed from the heart. With the heart, one believes unto righteousness. Now, you're telling me all the sin I've ever committed, and all of that stacked up, and I have no righteousness, that all of it is gone simply because I believe in my heart on the Lord Jesus? It seems like we ought to work really hard to offset the balance. We ought to do more righteous acts than we do sin, and therefore we're made righteous that way. Well, that's man's way. That's man's type of righteousness. God's righteousness is that we believe on Jesus and what he did. Because righteousness is not achieved, it is believed and received. Let me say that again. Righteousness is not achieved, it is believed and received. Take a look in Romans chapter 5, verse 17 and 19. For if by one man's offense death reigned through the one, that's Adam and his sin, much more those who receive abundance of grace and the gift of righteousness will reign in life through the one, Jesus Christ. Therefore, as through one man's offense judgment came to all men, resulting in condemnation. Again, Adam sinned, the sin was passed down to all of us. Even so, through one man's righteous act, it's Jesus on the cross, the free gift came to all men, resulting in justification of life. Verse 19 says, For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so also by one man's obedience many will be made righteous. Notice that we're made righteous. We don't earn righteousness. We don't make ourselves righteous. God makes us righteous. Romans chapter 3, verse 21 and 22, he says, But now the righteousness of God apart from the law is revealed. It's not earned, it's revealed. God has revealed it, being witnessed by the law and the prophets, even the righteousness of God through faith in Jesus Christ, to all and on all who believe. Now that's the key, that the righteousness of God is on me and it's toward me because I believe. I believe in him. I believe in Jesus. Romans 4, verse 5 says, But to him who does not work, but believes on him who justifies the ungodly, his faith is accounted for righteousness. The whole powerful, beautiful part of the gospel is that on our part, we have to simply believe in Jesus. But again, my question is, how does that work? How is simply believing in Jesus enough to eradicate and erase all my sin and allow me to stand in the presence of God with no sin, truly righteous and holy? Romans chapter 10, verse 3, it talks about the Jews and how that they tried to earn and achieve righteousness on their own. It says, For they, the Jews, being ignorant of God's righteousness and seeking to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted to the righteousness of God. Again, here we see that God's righteousness is not achieved or earned, it is submitted to. We submit to his plan. We submit to his way, and his way is through Christ. But my big question has always been, before I was ever saved, why is it Jesus? How can it happen? What did Jesus do? What was significant about him and what he did that now enables me to just simply believe and be transformed in a second? Well, hopefully you could join me tomorrow because I'm going to talk more about that in the next few days. I hope today's been an encouragement for you. Thank you for joining me for this 5 minutes of faith.